Hey, welcome back, mathletes. We've got our third and final day with dividing and mixed numbers. So today our focus is mostly on order of operations. So we'll have a little bit of division with some mixed numbers, but we'll also throw in another operation. That operation could be a little bit of multiplication in a fraction, or addition or subtraction with a fraction. And then we always want to make sure that our answers get simplified. So let's get started here. I'm going to review the steps just for dividing regular mixed numbers. And we've got our orange handout that kind of walks us through these guidelines. So we always want to get prepared first. Just like in real life, when you need to leave the home, you need to make sure everything is prepared and ready. If you're going on a long trip, you need to make sure that everything is prepared ahead of time. So do you have your tickets ordered? Do you have gas in the car? Do you have your suitcase packed? Do you have reservations? All of the things that you need to have prepared before you leave. So with math, we want to do the same thing, especially if we're working with fractions and division, mixed numbers, whole numbers. So just some reminders for you. We know that a whole number could get a denominator of 1. So that's one thing we can do. If we see that we're working with some kind of a whole number, we'll give it a denominator of 1. If we're using mixed numbers, and we know we're going to be, because that's our learning target for today, is working with mixed numbers, we've got that special job where we're changing it to an improper fraction. So if we had something like 4 1/3, we want it to be just a numerator and a denominator. In order to bundle all of that mixed into its improper form, we start at the denominator, we do our multiplication, 3 times 4, we pause to get 12, and then we do an extra addition of 1. That's going to give us our numerator of 13, and remember that the denominator stays the same. Now that we've got it as an improper fraction, it's set up like some of these other fractions below. So we want to prepare those, but we also will be dividing, because we're dividing with mixed numbers. We have 2 prep jobs for sure to do today. So make sure you take your time. First, change your mix to improper, then flip it over to a reciprocal so that we can multiply and then simplify our answer. So we're going to put all of this that we've been practicing together today with some order of operations. So how exactly do we solve order of operations when fractions are involved? We'll pause the video and peek at our resource, specifically example 3 on the top of textbook page 81. We'll walk you through it. Pay very close attention to what they do when they're adding or subtracting the fractional piece. We'll pause the video while you look to learn. So if you learned correctly, you would have seen on textbook page 81 that really not a whole lot changes with order of operations just because it's fractions or mixed numbers. It's basically the same thing as whole numbers. The only difference is we have a little bit of preparation that maybe we didn't have back in chapter 1. So we always focus on parenthesis math first. No matter what kind of math is inside, if it's in the parentheses, it is most important. The second thing we do is if we have some kind of an exponent value, which remember is repeat multiplication. So 4 squared is really 4 repeat 4 multiplied together. It is not 4 times 2, 4 times 4. The exponent grows the math answer much faster than just doubling something. So it's repeat. Instead of working with a whole number, though, we're going to be working more with a fraction. So we might have something like 2/3 squared. And in that case, we're just going to repeat the 2/3 fraction. So we would take that 2/3 and multiply it by another 2/3. And we know that we can multiply our numerators and multiply our denominators together. So an exponent math problem like this really gets into a fraction times a fraction. It's just going to be the same fraction repeated however many times the exponent is telling us to. Multiplication and division, we work left to right. So any problem that is lefter than the other, we solve that one first, and then we move across our page that way. We know that if we're dividing, we've got that extra reciprocal step to worry about. So take your time on that. And then if we're adding or subtracting, same, we work left to right, but we have to have a common denominator. We can't take nickels and pennies and call them total monies. We have to get them to be the same size. So it's like turning your nickels into groups of pennies instead. Then we can do pennies plus pennies and get total pennies. So I'll walk you through an example here. On journal page 48, I will do number 7. Please copy the work that I do into your journal as well. That way you'll have a good example you can look back at in case you needed something. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my problem and figure out what kind of math operations do I have. And I notice 2 things. I notice division and I notice multiplication. And since those are on the same level of order of operations, the rule is left to right. So the first problem that I'm going to solve is the one here on the left. For now, I'm going to ignore the times 3/11ths until later. When I'm dividing with a mixed number, I have a little bit of preparation first. So I'm going to get these numbers ready. I need to multiply 4 times 12, and I know that that's 48, plus 7 more, and I know that that's 55. 12 stays 12ths, so my mixed is made improper. Since my fraction over here is not a mixed that first needs to be made improper, it's just a regular fraction. Now I'm going to keep the first value the same, so I'm going to keep it improper. I'm going to change the math from division to the opposite, which is multiply, and I'm going to flip and use the reciprocal of the second fraction, which would really be 4/3. So remember, we do the opposite math with the opposite fraction. So I'm going to multiply. Cross my numerators, 55 times 4. Work it on out over here. I get a 220 for that value. And 12 times 3 down below, I get a denominator of 36. At this point, I can simplify if I want to, but since I'm going to be multiplying it by a fraction, I'll want it to be improper anyways. So why would I turn it into a mixed if I'm just going to go back and turn it into an improper? What I am going to do is I'm going to simplify it a little bit so that I don't grow it by multiplying it first. I notice that these values are evens, and so I'm going to divide them by 2s just to make them a little bit smaller. They'll be easier to work with this way. So 2 goes into 200, 100 times. 2 goes into 2 once, and 2 goes into 0, 0. So I got 110 going on here. And then half of 36 is 18. I notice they're still even. So cut them in half again. 110 divided by 2 gives me a 55. And 18 divided by 2 gives me a 9. So I'm going to leave it at this improper stage. I wanted my numbers to be a little bit smaller because these numbers honestly were quite big and a little bit scary. So now I'm ready to work on my next problem. I'm going to multiply my original answer by the 3/11ths fraction as my second operation. So I'm going to multiply these numerators together. 55 times 3 instead gives me a 165. And 9 times 11 gives me a 99. So now that I have an improper answer and I'm all done with the actual math problem, I have to simplify. It's not a choice. So I need to think, how many 99s go into 165? And since I can estimate 99 at being almost 100, I know there's really only one group of 99 in 165. So if I have 165 and I'm removing one group of 99, I'm looking for what's the difference for the remainder here. So we always want to do our subtraction and our borrowing. And so I've got a 15 take away 9 in my ones place, and now a 15 take away 9 in my tens place, and I have no hundreds left. So I know that it is a 66 over a 99. And I know that I could divide these by twos. No, not twos, because 99 is not even, but I could do threes. I could also do 11s, and I can also do 33s. And so since the greatest common factor is 33, I'm just going to jump to that and save me some effort. So if I just did 11s, I would get a 6 over 9, and that can be simplified by threes. So 1 and, so the answer to this problem is 1 and 66 divided by 33, there's 2 groups. And 99 divided by 33, there's 3 groups. So I really end up with 1 2/3 as my answer. So 4 7/12 divided by 3/4, then multiplied by 3/11 gives me a final answer of 1 2/3. Make sure that you have all this copied in your journal for number 7. Notice how much work is involved. There's a lot of work in just dividing with mixed numbers, but then when I throw in an additional extra problem because I have mixed up operations, it makes it even longer. So we'll give you one to try yourself. That way you can kind of check and see how you're doing with this skill. You will see this skill on your test coming up. Yours is journal page 48, number 8. Couple of things to notice for your problem. Look at what kind of operations do you have going on over here, which is going to be done first because order of operations is going to tell you to. And then what kind of values are you using? And when you're using those kind of values, what kind of special things do you need to remember? We'll pause the video while you work. If you have questions, make sure that you ask them. So as I walk through this one with you, kind of do a little self-check. How did you do on all of these steps along the way? So the first thing you notice is your problem has a combination of division and subtraction. And since I don't see any parentheses, the division math needs to be done first. So that's the first thing to check. Did you know that you were going to focus on the division question before the subtraction question? I have some numbers that need to be prepared. So my whole number gets prepared by putting it over 1. Did you remember to put a 1 underneath your whole number? My mixed number needs to be turned into its improper. So 10 times 8 is 80 plus 1 is 81. Denominator 10 stays the same. Did you turn your mix to an improper correctly? Check that. Now I'm ready for my next setup, which is keep it 9 over 1, change it from divide to multiply, and flip to the reciprocal 10 over 81. Did you remember to keep it, change it, flip it? Now let's multiply. 9 times 10, we get a 90 as a numerator, and a 1 times 81, we get an 81 as a denominator. So the next math problem we have to do is subtract 5/9. But we can't subtract ninths from 81sts because they're not the same size piece. So if I had dimes in my hands and told you to take away nickels, you couldn't because I don't have any. Although my dimes have equivalent value, I need to trade my dimes in for nickels first, and then you can take nickels away from me. So I need to turn this into a fraction that has the same denominator. And I know that if I count by 9s, eventually I'm going to say 81. So I'm going to use 81 as my common denominator. The good news is the first fraction is already in size 81 pieces. The bad news is the 5/9 is not. So I need to do a little bit of rewriting to make this equivalent. 9 times 9 gives me that 81 that I'm looking for. And remember, equal means it's got to be the same. So if I grow my bottom times 9, I have to grow my top times 9 as well. What we do to one value of a fraction, we do to the other to keep it equal. 5 times 9 is 45. So I'm not thinking about this 5/9 anymore. I'm calling it 45/81, which are equal in value. They're just look a little different. So now I can do 90/81 minus 45/81, and that's going to give me 45/81. So did you get a common denominator? Did you rewrite an equivalent fraction correctly? Did you subtract correctly? Now we need to simplify. I notice it's not improper, so this will not be a mixed number answer. But the question is, do they have any common factors? And they have some. So 45 divided by 3 would give me a 15. And 81 divided by 3, I might need to work that one out kind of this way. 3 goes into 8 twice, and 3 goes into 7 perfectly. So 27 is my denominator because 81 divided by 3 is 27. Now, when I look at this fraction, I notice there's still common factors. So if you look at a multiplication chart for a 15 and a 27 in the same column, you would find it in the 3s. If I divide these both by 3s, I'll end up with 5/9. And 5 and 9 have no more common factors, so the best answer would be 5/9. How'd you do? It's a lot of math along the way. There's a lot of steps, which means if there's a lot of twists and turns along the way, it's pretty easy to make a mistake. All the more reason to just slow down, take your time, and take it one step. So here is a mistake. You know me and all the mistakes that I make. We'll pause the video and see if you can figure out what happened and how would I fix it. So you can see from the example here that the first thing I did was I kept this first the same. I changed the divide to multiply, and I flipped to the reciprocal. But that's not correct. What I need to actually do first is change these mixed into impropers, then go and flip-flop. And I did it in backwards order, where I waited, did the reciprocal first, and then made them improper. So what I should have done was turn my mixed into improper first, then go back and keep change flip. Kind of like baking the rolls before you've actually mixed the ingredients together. You can't really reverse that situation and bake them and then mix the ingredients together because that doesn't really make sense. So you want to mix the ingredients first and then bake whatever you've created. So it's time to practice. Your assignment is on journal page 48. I'd like you to do the first 4 questions. You will be preparing your problem with reciprocals. You will also be preparing your mixed numbers. If you have mixed numbers, you're going to make them improper. Multiply, simplify, and then make sure that you show all of your thinking for 1 through 4. Happy practicing.